And welcome back, everybody, to the studio here at the ROG Join the Republic Community Challenge Finals. I'm Parla, recovering from a beating served by Lauren, Pansy, Scott, and
mostly this guy
her team,
well,
including Sponge, but not including the man on the very end, Dioxide, who was one of the contestants in this whole tournament and was part of Sponge's team from Australia. Guys, can we just quickly recap what just happened? We had a show match, myself and 4 of the captains versus Pansy and 4 of the captains. What happened?
You got wrecked.
You got hard wrecked.
I got wrecked. My HLTV rating. I don't get many matches.
Have you seen the picture they've used of you on HLTV as well?
Whoa, well, I'm like looking down or something. It's not that bad of a picture, is it? I mean, it's okay.
Pretty intense.
It's a good photo. Do you like the one we used of you?
No. I don't like that photo. It was like an old picture I took of myself. Wasn't really so artistically inclined back then.
Okay.
I would like to think slightly improved. Maybe all of you watching disagree. Either way, we're off the topic. You guys absolutely smashed my team. It was a pleasure. It was on Inferno. It was loads of fun. You did win. Later in the show, I'm going to be pied. Shame that. You know, it's a bit ironic.
You're playing it off a little bit.
I've been working on this project for 6 months now, and I'm the guy at the end who gets a punch in the face, pretty much, from Creamy Moses himself.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the upcoming match, the final, which is between Team Michaelele and Team Isaac, Sweden and Poland. It's going to be really, really intense. They are definitely the best teams here. I think we have established that by now. There's no luck that's really been involved in their victories. Look at Sponge. He's like, maybe we could have done it. No. All right, Sponge. Do you have a disagreement with that?
No, not at all.
Okay, you did kind of like furrow your brow slightly. But anyway, we also, the whole point of this, one of the main points of this project is to really show that an amateur can work hard and reach some form of success and maybe even create a career from this whole situation. And one of the people trying to do that, or who has been involved in this, is Dioxide, and we're going to start off by showing all of you his player-focused video.
So as a player, I feel like I'm more of an aggressive player. So I like to be the person that just runs in first and finds out where everyone is and hopefully gets a few, two to three frags at best. Best case scenario, kill the whole team. I've been playing Counter-Strike since I was a very young child. My dad actually used to play it and I used to watch him. And every time he'd jump off or go to the toilet, I'd jump on and try and kill some people. But yeah, wasn't very good back then. This is massive for myself anyway. I've never played overseas before. I've played around Australia in like national competitions, so all the top Australian teams at a LAN, but yeah, I've never played overseas, no.
Yeah, flex the muscles, Dioxide, you're on stream, brother.
Look at that smile.
You're live on stream. Oh, the tongue out.
In real life, I work full time, so finding time to play Counter-Strike's a little hard at the moment. I also play for a competitive team, so I've been busy with that as well. We boot camped in Melbourne, in Australia, figured out where we'd play and who our roles in the team. So Chad gave us a few ideas and a bit of strategies that we could go through during the games.
Good one. It tags are 3 players, and then the CSET 75 AWP out the Oxide taking care of Arcadia, and he's looking for even more fights.
Being an anti-frag is a tiny bit of pressure, but at the same time, like, it can also feel very rewarding. Like if you can enter the bomb site and get like 2 kills and the bomb site's open for your whole team, the round's basically won. All you have to do is hold a line and wait for them to run into you. So it's very rewarding when it works, and it can also be a little depressing if you die every single time.
Dioxide, the entry fragger for Team Australia. Pleasure to have you here. How has this whole experience been for you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been very interesting. I'm sad that we couldn't actually pull out the win in the end, but it was fun nonetheless, so yeah.
You had an insane game on Train, and we thought, wow, this could even go 2-0 to Team Sponge, but it didn't, unfortunately, for you guys. How did you manage to pull off that sort of performance? What was it, 33 or 36 kills? Something around that.
Yeah, I think it was about 35.
35,
yeah,
okay. I just missed it by one. Great for me. Please continue.
So my game plan going into this was that I knew they were an actual team. So my game plan was, well, I'm not going to let them feel comfortable. So every chance I had, I decided to do something completely random, push through a smoke, flash behind me and just run at them as much as possible. On CT side, I guess they kind of just, it felt like they were running into my crosshair at that point. But I just couldn't do it in the next 2 games. I couldn't find my momentum as I did in Train. I felt like they were more structured in the next 2 maps rather than just on train, so...
Lauren, I think one of the coolest things about Deoxide is that he starts off this competition. He wasn't on a team when me and Sponge met him, or at least you weren't on a team of the profile that you are on now. Oh. And now at this point, you're playing for Legacy Team Australia, which you said is like top 4 or 5 in Australia.
Somewhere around that, yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool, right?
Are they the ones with the tree in the logo? Legacy.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
Mitch's
team.
Yeah. Oh, congrats. On that note, though, you know, obviously you're not a complete amateur. It's not like you've come into this. You're like, I've just installed CS. You know what I mean? Like, you're actually relatively established. How different was it going from a relatively structured team? As you said, you played in a couple already. You played around, I guess, Australia rather than going overseas. How much of a big difference was it going across these ones so you get the jet lag effect and all that sort of stuff piled in, playing with a bit of a mix and against essentially a team? Was it more freeing? Did you feel like you could do more on your own accord, or did it just feel completely different?
Not having that structure is a completely different game. Like, it feels like you can't rely on your team as much. I mean, they're still good players. Like, none of my team are bad players. They're all pretty good in... I've played with them in Australia multiple times. Yeah, the structure hurts. It hurts not knowing what everyone's doing as often as you'd like.
I know how that feels.
Yeah, after watching your game. Holla, mate.
I mean, that was what I'm waiting to hear. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's sort of come from me, but he got in early.
It's a slow through with Chad.
It was a race to it.
Like with the team, the way that I was like calling and stuff on train when Dale was just going off, I kind of just like let him free. I said, you go here, do whatever you want. Everyone else will come with me. We'll go do something. And it kind of worked out like that on the T side. Dale found himself in a lot of good after plan situations where we were kind of getting taken out and he was taking him down. So it looked pretty good for him.
And Sponge, like, how did you put the word out there and how did you eventually find Deoxide in Australia?
So mine was like 2 segments. So I had an online portion where I did some streaming and I played pugs with players over the course of, I think I did like a full day stream. It was like 14 hours or something. Stupid. And then he was the standout player from that day. And then he had to come to PAX where we had an on-stage match between people who I'd picked up at PAX. And once again, he was the standout player. So the clear front runner for my team.
All right, and you... Sorry, Lauren, do you want to jump in? No, I was just going to say, Sponge, you are someone very versed in esports and CS, and especially Australian Counter-Strike. What kind of future do you see for Deoxide?
A pretty good one. His biggest issue is having a full-time job. You know, that's like the rest of Australia. They have to kind of be able to work or study full-time because Counter-Strike is where we're from. It's still behind the 8 ball. You know, we have Renegades, we have Winterfox now, but they're not... We don't have actual organisations in Australia who are able to pay salaries and stuff, so these guys can commit full-time, which is a bit of an issue.
If you got the chance, would you give up your full-time job for full-time esports? Because I know like, a lot of people have like really good professions they worked incredibly hard for and they just enjoy playing esports on the side. Would you switch over or would you want to stick doing what you're doing?
Currently with my job, even if I had the offer and I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
I'm signed on for 6 years and I can't leave until that's up.
Okay, well
so
there you go.
I've got until I'm 24 before I can even like contemplate doing that. So
cool.
How old are you now?
Wait.
I'm 21 now.
21.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
I was about to say counting.
Well, there's always that potential there. We are ready now to move on to the next player focus, but any final words from you before we say goodbye, Deoxide?
Not really. Apart from, I wish I could have destroyed them a bit harder.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is.
You put on a fantastic show, and you are definitely a very talented player, and it could be exciting to see if there's any potential for you in the future. And best of luck in your career as well, because, you know, it's fantastic you're doing both.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, so the next player focus is for one of the players from Team Germany, Zonix's team, who unfortunately went out in the first stage of the competition, Dreven.
Well, my name is Tim Fiege and I'm known in the internet as Dreven, or like English would say maybe Dreven. I am 20. I played Counter-Strike 2 years ago when some friend told me, let's buy this game, and then it just started. Well, at first I didn't like it because I wasn't that good at this game, but after some time I just kept on playing and I watched videos, and then you just can't get away.
It's the information, he knows where both players are coming from. Unfortunately for him, he isn't able to find the shots. Dreven there, long range with the Tech 9. 3 kills in the round for Dreven, and the first one, I gotta say, was brilliant. That flick Tech 9 headshot.
I think I'm good, but there's way more than just being good. You need work, hard work and talent. It's just so much more. so I have to learn way more. Everyone has a plan of or a dream like being like a pro. If I can perform good at the matches, maybe that someone's coming after the event and says maybe you want to join us, show to the German scene that there are good players with talent who can improve. That's because it's very, very important for me to perform.
Dreven there with another very interesting story, like his background and how he got into this position he is in. And I think it's awesome to see even a player that went out in the early stage of the competition is still very positive about everything that has happened. But we still have 2 teams left. We only have 2 teams left. The grand final is ready to go, and we can start discussing what might happen, predictions, and so forth. Lauren, please start us off.
It's really hard to call this one, right? It's like, you look at the Swedish team and it's very hard to bet against them, considering the only time they looked relatively weak was that OT against Adren's side. Whereas Isaac's team lost a map to Zonix's team. The German side, one of the players you just heard from. So in theory, the stronger side overall, you know what I mean? It's very hard to kind of like pull to one side, but it's hard to doubt a lot of the players on that Isaac side, because it's not just Isaac who plays well. There's like 2 other people, like Neeks is one of them that you could look at and believe that they can do well here. So I find it really hard to call this.
I think the X factor that one of our cast is going to bring up, Anders, is Stomp, the AWPer. I don't know, Chad, what are your thoughts on both these teams? Who are the standouts for you? Where do you see this going?
Yeah, building on what Lauren was saying, I look at the Swedish team and they're still more of a pug team, right? They may have put a bit more practice in than say what my team did, which wouldn't have been too difficult. But it's Makaleli who's the star, and he's shown over the course of these days that he is a star. Then Lolzy chimes in as the second best player, then the other 3 all contribute here, there, and everywhere. On the Polish side, Isaac's picked a team with players who are like, a few of them are better than him, you know, you could say. Yeah. So he's just the leader of the squad, and he has his stars kind of doing work, and he contributes as well. So Isaac's team is probably across the board more evenly skilled and more structured, and the rumor has it they've done much more practice. So for me, I look at them and I go, if you look at, like, they have more synergy as a team, so they're more of a team than Makaleli's team. Makaleli needs to hope that he can have another stellar performance and he doesn't get shut out. And
I'd go on to the fact of even maps going head-to-head against these guys. What we've seen from Isaac is that they're actually very prepared. They do have more than just the basics. Like Makaleli was saying that, yes, they've got the basics down and they build upon it. I've seen more than that from Isaac. I've actually liked the core of how they play. I like the fact that they can actually withstand on the CT sides. They're not just giving that up. A lot of teams struggle on their CT sides because it's very hard to play as a pug. They seemed way more ready for that than the Swedish team. Makaleli can bring all the firepower on the T side. No one doubts what he can do. We've seen it firsthand. But I don't think they've got longevity as Isaac's side do at the moment.
Some of the other pros were discussing that if the map veto goes in favour of Makaleli, it's most likely going to be a cash ban, or if that will be the thing that they should try to do against Isaac's team. I'd love to get the opinion on that and of everything else from our casters, Anders and Semler. Guys, this is the big grand final, and there's a lot on the line, and I know you guys have been watching very closely and have some pretty strong opinions about which way this could go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been on Isaac's sort of train for so long now. I've got to follow through on this one. I think Stomp's been looking promising. And
he's the guy that you really like.
Yeah,
the style, right?
Well, I was going to say, so up until this point, until yesterday, in fact, I thought it was just going to be him. But now Nex and Guzman have been playing very well. I'm liking this team even more now.
No, that's true.
I forgot about Lily Guzman. That last game he played was absolutely amazing.
It was. Yeah, and very on point.
Neeks really caught fire as well.
Yeah.
It looks like the vote on screen, which you can do, exclamation mark followed by the player of choice, is going very much in favour of Isaac. Semler, what are your thoughts?
I'm interested to see that Makaleli went back to Mirage when they got beat up by Luke on it yesterday.
What are the
in the semifinals? Yeah, that's what I'm noting down right now. So we know that the first, the way that the ban went, Cash got picked by Isaac.
Okay.
Understandable. They've been really solid on it all
pick.
tournament long. Second map is Makaleli picking Mirage, which is, I guess, like they're going back to their strong point. First time they played Mirage, Makaleli went ham. Yesterday, they kind of got carried, like he got saved a little bit by his teammates. But still, it feels like a wishy-washy map. And then third map is Train.
Ooh, that's a really strange
map. I mean, Chad, you should like this. You're going to be on the analyst
yeah,
test for
Chad,
it.
What do you think about that?
It's a good pick. I think like the strong opening of Makaleli can shine on that map. You know, it's a map where he can run around and be wherever he wants to be and grab a cheeky kill, move to another position, grab another one. But I'm still surprised that Makalele didn't ban Cage. Like, what would they have possibly been scared of? What did
Either way, Chad, guys, I'm going to interrupt because we need to get this match underway. And so that means Anders and Semler, you guys can take it away. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Parla. Appreciate it. Glad to see you're still hanging in there, brother, and just not...
curled up in a corner somewhere.
Yeah. As soon as the camera's off him, he's crying. You can't see that. It's off the camera now, but he's already crying. So I understand that, you know. And the worst is still to come. The pie is still happening later on, so you can't miss that.
What the thing is, like Moses, he actually does want to inflict some pain because there's marzipan on that pie. That's what Paolo's freaking out about. There's like a layer of marzipan over the cream in that pie.
You guys don't know is we've put it out in the cold, and it's like -10 outside, so it will just be rock hard. It won't be like a cream pie at all. It'll just be like an actual rock in it.
Covered with whipped cream, though, obviously.
Yeah.
You have to
make it look
hide it a little bit.
Yeah, full cartoon style.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it'll be done at the end of the day, so Paolo won't need his pretty face anymore. It'll be all right. You know, he'll be able to go back to the UK.
Got time to recover.
Yeah.
Listen, you've been a fan of Michaelis for I think for the most of the tournament, and you've been right up until this point.
3 years now.
Yeah, well, 3 years if you want to count the whole thing. But I mean, you know, you've been right up until this point. You've had him picked so far. Do you think this is the team that they can't beat? Like, is it too much, or will it be his day?
I think that there's so much depth to both of these rosters that it can actually break either way. Isaac, yes, they have a bit more preparation going on, but I haven't seen as much consistency across the board with his team, although it has been like Nex, Lily Guzman, and Stomp really who've been like the standout players, the standout core for Isaac. Even Isaac shows up when he gets a C75 on those anti-eco rounds. But like Forced to Live, Forced to Live, Lalzi, Foxy, Michaelele, like there's a lot of depth on Michaelele's roster where anybody can go ham.
Well, look, it is the Grand Finals that's going to be coming up. If you're new to this whole concept, if you don't know more about these two captains, then we do have a head-to-head between Isaac and Michaelele. Let's check it out. Chicken 1, chicken 2, chicken... Only have tech lines, but this is doable. He makes a jump for it, tries for the shot. He nearly takes one down. There's the kill. Crasher coming up with a double. There's the triple.
Pretty fun game. I was pretty shocked that the Taiwanese guys was actually this good.
25 seconds, the bomb, it should be going down now. The knife is in, and oh, that's how it's gonna end.
I think when I knifed, I just felt on top of the world. I had a really good game. Hopefully my captain wasn't too mad at me for not taking the safer potion.
I mean, it's a bit fun, right?
Well, I've played many games with them actually. So we've played like over 100 games probably, maybe even 200 or 300 games. They're really skilled. They're amazing, and what makes us a team, there are players who can actually step up and carry the game.
There's nobody here, but they're still going to take the fight. Here comes the whole squad, and there's a firing squad on the other side. Lei getting up 3 kills. Chaka gets 1 in return, but that's just brutal.
I think our chance is big. We saw Michaelele team and Taiwan team, so we know how they play.
They are confident because they practiced a lot before this tournament. They're ready, and what can I say? We're ready as well.
Team-wise, I think that we just need to keep playing the same game that we've been playing so far. We can beat any opposition here, as we have done so far.
We can do this. I mean, that's what we are here for.
We can do this.
All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The two captains, certainly the confidence is there. They're ready for it. Before we get on the way, I do want to remind you that the tournament is brought to you by ROG and Intel, and this Grand Final match is coming up. It's going to be brought to you by the ROG Strix 502.
Lean over and just go.
Welcome back.